Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. This is our first ever Heel Heat question and answer segment. My name is George Coles. This is my tag team partner, Smash.
Thanks, Max. Gary Rhodes, everybody.
And if you guys watched our WWE show, initially we weren't going to do a question and answer. We left it up to you guys. However, we got several questions, mostly from one person. But that's not a problem. We have no problem doing that. And the more questions we get sent in, the more of these we'll end up doing. Hopefully you guys like how this goes. And we're going to jump right in. Our first question, actually our first several questions, are all going to be from our friend Josh Adams, who's a major contributor. He always comments on our questions of the week, comments on our videos. And he sent us several. He's one of the main reasons we're doing this. Actually, the main reason. And the first one is, so do you guys think if they split the tag team titles, it would help the division be better? Meaning, I'm guessing he means going back to where SmackDown had tag titles and Raw had tag titles.
I think, well, you go ahead first if you want to.
At this point, no. Just because there's not enough tag teams in the division to build two titles to. I mean, it's hard. It's hard thinking, you know, they got teams like the Clones, the Primetime Players, the Usos, but they've all been damaged by constantly losing. And at this point, I can't see any of those teams being even the Rhodes Scholars being tag team champions or tag team champion material.
I would love it to be like it was in 04 when there was separate shows. Separate things like that. Not everything's together. The tag team division's too weak right now as it is. I think if they were to separate them, everything would just plummet.
Yeah.
They don't have no. There's no.
Well, it would end up being like a guy like it would be like Santino and Khali win the tag team.
Exactly. I mean, if you're gonna like have two tag team champions, do a U.S. champion, a U.S. tag team champion.
I like that idea. Or an intercontinental tag team.
Exactly.
Champions.
But if you're gonna do something like that, don't make two world champions. You know, that's my opinion of it.
Yeah, I like that idea actually.
Because you know, back in the old days, the U.S. tag team division
in the WCW,
they would build up the younger talents with the U.S. belt, while Legion of Doom or Horsemen had the world belt, and sometimes the Legion of Doom and them would have the U.S. belts too, just to bring legitimacy to the belt.
I like that idea. Our second question, also from Josh: who would you like to see from Ring of Honor or that come to WWE? I'll go ahead and let you. I answered the first one first. I'll let you answer this one first.
Well, right now, my favorite guy right now in the business, if I want someone to come to WWE, especially from Ring of Honor, it would be Kevin Steen. I think if the way they're trying to push another Attitude Era or Attitude Era-esque kind of program, that's the perfect guy for it. He's big. He's kind of like a modern day Mick Foley. He don't have everybody's body, but he can take a bump. And he's a great storyteller in the ring.
I'm going to go with a tag team. The Briscoe brothers. They've been the best tag team in the world for the better part of a decade. I would like to see the best tag team in the world try their hand on the biggest stage in the world. Who wouldn't like to see a Briscoe brothers match at WrestleMania?
It's kind of like 2000, the Dudleys stepped foot into WWE or WWF at the time. I like that. That's my first pick. As long as the Dudley boys are in Ring of Honor, or Dudley boys, as long as the Briscoe brothers are in Ring of Honor, they're always going to be my first pick to wanting to see what they can do in WWE. Now, going on to our question number 3, who would you like, and also from Josh again, who would you like to see do a face-heel turn? I'll go ahead and go first on this one. One of my personal favorites that doesn't seem to get... He gets pushes, but they're never big pushes. Right now he's a U.S. champion, and that's Kofi Kingston. I'd love to see a more serious side of Kofi Kingston, kind of like the 2009 feud he had with Randy Orton. I'd love to see him go heel. Right now would be a bad time for him to go heel because the heel top of the card is really packed. But I think that's what he really needs to break out and go to the next level. What do you think, Gary? Right now in the business, someone should either turn. Of course, my answer is going to be John Cena. John Cena has enough heat legitimate heat, that he could be the biggest heel in the business and not have to be the best talker. He could be the modern day Hulk Hogan turning heel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when Hogan went with the NWO, he could be that big. And I think it's about time. It's been years past his time. I liked him when he was heel, but the PG era has really killed him on me. I think if it would be the right move.
Good choice. All right, now our fourth question. This is also, again, from Josh. Who would you like to see in the Hall of Fame 2014? I went first. This is my turn to go first, right?
No, I go first now.
Okay, go ahead.
No brainer. Owen Hart. Everything, all the legal issues should have been set aside. That's the man that should go there. He should have been there 14 years ago.
You say no brainer?
Yeah.
There's no bigger no brainer than mine. The Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, but I would say Savage if Lanny wasn't against it.
I don't care about that. Is he saying who? His question was, who would you like to see?
Oh, well, still Owen. I'm sorry. I love Randy Savage.
I know you like Owen. My opinion is it's kind of like the same opinion if you watched our top 10 not in the Hall of Fame. Both of these guys were on it. Mm-hmm. But the point we made for Bruno and Backlund is the same point we made for Savage. And that is, how can you have a guy that's this legendary in the organization not be in there? Now, a close second would be someone like the Bulldog. I'd love to see Bulldog in there as well. Either both the Bulldogs together or Davey Boy himself.
I think both the Bulldogs together would be good. I think that's the only way Dynamite's getting in. And he deserves to be in there. He's helped all our guys.
I think Savage is the most deserving guy that's not in.
Honestly, I think Vince and the rest of the McMahon should just say screw it and put him in. I mean, what will it hurt?
There you go.
You know,
hell, you could have Lethal do the interview.
Yeah, you know, everybody used to say, "Oh man, I can't believe Savage is probably pissed about that." Savage loved it.
Yeah. And then he called Savage to ask his permission before he even did it.
Kevin Nash
put him in contact with him. All right, our fifth question again from Josh. Out of all the world championships, which meant the most to you? Now I'm guessing he means the title runs. So I'll go ahead and this is my turn. Yours first. Easy. Everybody, this one should be one. If you guys watch our show, you should know this one. January 4th, 1999, Mick Foley winning the world title, finally becoming the guy. My favorite wrestler of all time. My favorite Monday Night Raw moment of all time. And to me, it meant so much to me as a Mick Foley fan that he finally got his championship.
I'm going to go April 24th, 2000, David Arquette. I was so, because today's
the actual day?
Today is the actual day. They were saying, it's just so funny you said the date. Of course, that's not it. To me, that's a hard one because there's been so many good defining championship matches.
Well, I know you're a huge Edge fan. Was him cashing in on Cena and winning his first title, was that it for you? Or?
No, I would have to say Austin finally getting it at WrestleMania 14 against Shawn. The match wasn't as good as it should have been, you know, because of Shawn's back. But if you really look at it, the next day on Raw is when everything changed. You know, McMahon became the ultimate heel.
Well, he was already building towards that.
He was building, but I mean, now Shawn was gone. Mick Foley, you know, it
started his turn back to the evil side.
Exactly. That was just such a monumentous turn for the Attitude Era. And I'm a big fan of the Attitude Era.
There you go. So I say Foley, you say Austin.
Yeah.
All right. Now, number 6. How would you rank the 4 world champions in talent? We got Jay Briscoe, Dolph Ziggler, Bubba Ray, and John Cena. And this is your turn to go first.
Okay, well, I would go Ziggler, Ray, Briscoe, and Cena. That's my way. I mean, I'm sure you're going to be a little different, but Ziggler just, I mean, he played by all the rules, and he's put enough guys over, and he's sold his matches.
Well, the thing is, in regards to talent,
yeah.
I would honestly go Jay Briscoe number 1. I think he's the most talented of the four guys. Not the guy that I like the most of the four, but he's the most talented. Bully Ray, number 2, just because he is one of the most perfect heels that I can remember in recent history. Dolph Ziggler, number 3. And that's hard for me because Dolph Ziggler's in-ring talent's probably as good or better than anybody on this list. But Bully Ray's just so good as a heel.
Oh, yeah, he's fire. He's white hot right now.
And John Cena, number 4, basically because Cena sucks.
Exactly. He's a turd.
I mean, he's not horrible, but if you look at these guys, I mean, John Cena can't lace Jay Briscoe's boots up.
No.
John Cena couldn't wrestle an Iron Man match against Dolph Ziggler.
If it's one of those things. If they
the only one that would work is Cena versus Bully Ray, and Bully Ray would have to call the match.
He would have to call the match, and he'd work stiff as hell on Cena. If he worked an Iron Man match with Ziggler, Ziggler would on television. He would embarrass him. He would gas him out not even halfway through the match, and make him his bitch for the whole show. If Ziggler wanted to do that, he's that talented.
There you go.
Sorry.
Now, our number 7 question, again from Josh, is going to be, would a reunion of the Kings of Wrestling help the division? I can't say this any easier. Yes. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about the best tag teams
in the past 5-10 years.
2 of the best workers. Of course it's going to help.
I mean, it can't, at this point, it can't hurt.
No.
Me and Gary coming in would help the division.
Oh.
And we're not even trained wrestlers.
We'd be tons of funk part 2. You have tattoos on your face.
Okay.
We'd be the new rock and sock connection. I could grow out my mutton chops. You can, wear the same clothes. And we can rock and sock. Well, you know the same clothes make wears.
Yeah. So yes, of course, the Kings of Wrestling, in my opinion, they'd be a great addition to the tag team division. It would give Cesaro something to do. It would bring Cassius Ohno up, which it's been well overdue. I mean, I think you're spot on. They're just the team to invigorate that division. Number 8. Would Beth Phoenix going to TNA help her career? I'll go ahead and let you get this one first.
No. I think if Beth, you look at everybody that's gone to TNA, has their career been helped? No.
How do the women? Gail's has.
Well, Gail is probably more prominently known for TNA because she was there when it opened. I mean, granted, she was
when they first did Knockout.
Well, even beforehand, she was a manager for Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, she wasn't there when it opened.
No, but I'm just saying she's been there for the majority of the time of the company. So most people don't remember her first WWE run. But you look at Mickie James, Tara. It's just really, it's almost like when they're that old, and they're not putting the matches on they should be putting on. No, I just don't think it would help Beth. Beth's just taking time off her edge. I think she's going to come back next year or so.
I think it would help TNA more than it would help Beth Phoenix.
Beth Phoenix could be billed as the biggest monster woman in wrestling. Next to Awesome Kong. The match they were building up for was going to be Kong versus Beth Phoenix. And that never got a chance to happen. But that's sad.
I think Beth Phoenix, I mean, she was so poorly used in WWE that I can't see it would hurt her career.
No.
But I think she would help TNA more than TNA would help her. I'd like to see her do some Ring of Honor stuff with some, maybe like a Mischief or, some of the girls.
I'd like to see Ring of Honor get a women's championship. They're getting a decent amount of women wrestlers there. I think it's about time they put a women's championship there.
All right, our 9th question is also from Josh. Would you like to see the Brothers of Destruction win the tag titles one last time?
That's yours.
Oh, you did first. Yeah, why not? I like both guys, Kane and The Undertaker. If Undertaker could even do where he works the pay-per-views and just the pay-per-views for 2-3 in a row, and shows up and does promos or whatever to set up the matches on the pay-per-views, I could live with that. I think it's a fitting tribute to give the guys on their way out. I'd like to see, just running off the top of my head with that, if they did that, I'd like to see where they finally split. If they did a Brothers of Destruction tag team run, I'd like to see them finally split up after it, and then Kane versus Undertaker one more time at WrestleMania.
Not bad. I don't think they don't need it, but it would be kind of cool to see them have it again.
It'd be
that's
more,
mine.
That's for more for the fans than for the wrestlers.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing it. I think it'd be kind of cool if, like Team Hell No lost to the Shield and they got it back from the Shield.
There you go.
I wouldn't mind seeing that, at least if it was even just for one night, win the pay-per-view and lose it at Raw the next night. I wouldn't mind seeing it just as long as they had one more run.
There you go. I wouldn't mind that at all. Now, number 10, and the last one from our friend Josh, who is the most underrated wrestler in the world right now? And I think this is yours to go first.
God, there's so many right now, to be honest with you. I mean, I was at Dolph Ziggler until a couple of weeks ago when he finally cashed in, just because. Damn. Go ahead and answer. I can't think right now off the top of my head because there's just so many. I can't just pinpoint that one. I mean, right now I'd have to say Antonio Cesaro, the way they're using him, but that might just be for a short time.
Is that underrated by the fans or underrated by the?
No, it's underrated. I think it's underrated by the office. I think Vince is enough giant fans.
Because the fans like him.
Oh, the fans love him.
Fans are on with him.
He actually this weekend he wrestled Regal in his home country, and he was the babyface.
There you go.
I'd have to say Cesaro, just because I think that Vince doesn't see what everybody else sees in him. Kind of like D. Bryan.
I'm going to go a different route on that. I think the most underrated wrestler is Mr. Anderson. I think he's been booked so poorly that people have given up on his character with his multiple face heel turns and being part of Aces and Eights. However, when he's booked properly, I think one of the best matches in TNA history was him versus Kurt Angle about 3 years ago at a Lockdown. And when he's booked properly, I mean, the guy's got mic talent. He's a good in-ring worker. He's not the greatest, but he's good. And I think he's someone that if they would have used him properly, could have been a main event superstar there.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's one of the guys that they've really let slip through the cracks.
Now the next one, I'm not even going to try. We got a couple questions that aren't from Josh, so I'm not even going to try and pronounce this name. It looks like Hoyrgktea. No clue how you would pronounce that, but this is his question. Where do you see Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose, 1 year from now? I used to be so impressed with his promos, but he doesn't quite have that solo focus now in WWE. I'll go ahead and go first on this one. I see big, huge things for Ambrose. I mean, I'm wearing a Shield shirt. I think all three of the guys in the Shield are eventually going to be main eventers. I think that Ambrose is going to be the easiest transition from the Shield to being in the main event. He's the best talker out of the group, and he's a damn good in-ring talent. I could easily see him being in the world title picture this time of year, and maybe even by then a world champion.
I totally agree with you. I think Ambrose, or Moxley, whatever you want to call him, his mic skill, his ring presence, I honestly think he's the one that's going to shine the most.
Well, he's going to be the easiest to get.
Yeah, but I see more. Reigns is just going to go by his look.
Yeah, but he's
Rollins.
It's like we were talking about earlier.
Like Batista, he's going to be like another modern day Batista.
Well, he's quicker than Batista.
Yeah, he's not as big though.
No, but he's still big.
Yeah.
And Rollins is a guy that's just a maniac when it comes to the ring.
Well, the thing is, they could turn him into such a big baby face.
Yes.
It'd be pathetic not to. I see him doing the first face turn. But I see Moxley or Ambrose, as you want to call him, he could be one of those down, dirty, villainous heels, like a CM Punk. He can cut that. I think he can cut that kind of promo. I look at him, he's going to be a world champion before next year.
There you go. Within a year, you think?
Within a year of the Shield breaking up.
Okay.
How about that? Because who knows how long they're going to keep it together.
There you go. And last but not least, our final question is from our friend Lou over at the Deadly Sins. What do you guys think of the terrible booking and match placements as of late? Does it kill the product?
That's you.
Okay. Absolutely, it does. I think that the booking, to me, and I actually answered him on Facebook because it was such a great question, and not that the other ones aren't, and it's something that was on my mind. If you watched our last Monday Night Raw show, it's something we talked about on there. I absolutely think it does. To me, as a wrestling fan, and I've been a wrestling fan for almost 30 years now, and you've been about 25, 30 years you've been a fan, if I'm getting bored because of the booking and the match placement, and I'm a longtime fan that's pretty much tuning in just out of habit now, somebody that's a casual fan is changing the channel.
Exactly.
And it's something other than maybe I'm guessing he's talking about WWE specifically. Other than the top handful of wrestlers, they don't have storylines for other guys.
And the thing is, you take a look at a couple of weeks ago, the day after WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania was thrown together and was 10 times better than the Raws in the past, 6 months at least. Yeah. I mean, that's at least. Hell, it was better than WrestleMania, to me, in my opinion. I think they're over-analyzing everything and really killing the product. I
just think that the lack of
storylines,
lack of direction for certain characters. Wade Barrett's the Intercontinental Champion. Can you name his last important feud? Antonio Cesaro was a U.S. champion for almost a year. Name one feud he had. I can't even name a feud he had within the year. And we're talking about a title that used to be the second most important title in WCW and arguably the third most important title in WWE. Hell, if you just go with the WWE version, guys like John Cena used it to get over. Eddie Guerrero, JBL. I mean, it's a title that holds
Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit made that title pretty impressive.
And
MVP. Hell, even Matt Hardy. You know, Matt Hardy was a decent U.S. champion. But my thing is, it's kind of off the topic, but they need to separate the shows and make it the way it was in '94 or '04. I'm sorry. They do that, I think it'll be a better product.
There you go. But basically, that's all the questions we have. This has been our first question and answer segment. If you guys want to see more, send us more questions. We'll do them more often. I don't think we do them every week, but every now and again wouldn't hurt. But my name is George Coles.
I'm Gary Rhodes.
And this has been a Heel Heat question and answer.